What would you rather throw away, love or money? Forever gone. Can't have it anymore.
I gotta go, the city awaits. I'm hoping that someone gives me a break. Cause I'm in now, ayy. Gotta try to do my thing now, ayy. I got plans to set the whole thing up. All my fam, you know we gon' be sharp.
Good morning, afternoon, or evening. Welcome to the platform right here on the Not So Daily Show, the show that comes to you daily, except when it doesn't. I am your host, Themba Kevin. We've got a special guest in studio today, a model, entrepreneur, social media influencer extraordinaire, and all-round cool person, Nqobile Khwezi.
Thank you.
How you doing, girl?
I'm good. I wish somebody could introduce me like that every day.
Serious?
Yeah, when I wake up, I want to be introduced like that into my life.
But that's just even like a short promo. If we actually went into everything you do,
yeah,
it would take the whole morning.
Thank you.
But it's good to see you in Joburg.
Yes.
I know that you and Cape Town have a strong love affair.
Yes,
so
that's the love of my life.
Right?
That's the true love of my life.
What does it take to get you out of Cape Town, and what are you doing in Joburg now?
Good amount of money. I'm joking. Work. I always say that like when work comes into play, I'll go anywhere in the world. I've worked in different places. I've worked out of the country as well. I've worked in different provinces, different cities, and also some remote areas. So whenever I've got like a shoot or I've got a gig, if I'm hosting, if I've got a shoot to direct, or like even because sometimes I get also asked to do like some creative directing for some certain shoots, and to just like be a creative and all around anyway. I'll do it anyway.
I'm glad you started like that because I actually wanted to highlight this when we started. There was this interview that I was doing the rounds last week of Kim Kardashian being asked, what does it take for women to be successful? Did you see it?
Yes, I did.
And she was like, yes, sit on your ass and work hard.
Yes.
And that was controversial.
Get off your ass.
Get off your ass and work hard.
Yes.
And that was controversial because people took it two separate ways.
Yes.
One was that, you're privileged. You know, and I understand that point. But other people were like, you don't actually work hard. You just take pictures and do appearances and post stuff. And I was like, dude, you can't be further from the truth. Because like, I see your Instagram. You are either shooting, traveling,
gymming to make sure I look cute.
To make sure. So, the reason I wanted to have you here today is because I want to like pull the curtain back on that, to actually like make people understand what it takes to bring forward this thing that people see on Instagram and think that's a perfect life. We're not, dude. It's actually a lot of money and a lot of work that goes into it.
Yeah.
So a typical day in your life. Typical busy day in your life.
So I feel like I could wake up anytime from like 3 to like 4, depending on what kind of shoot I have. And then obviously because I like to work out before my shoots, unless I don't want to be stiff. Like if I know that I can do like a quick little workout, 30 minutes, an hour. I start getting ready, depending on whether I'm doing my own makeup for that shoot, whether I'm shooting my own content for Instagram, or I'm modeling, because model work is like you're a mannequin. You literally rock up and you just get told what to do. And you get on set, there's normally either like a snack or food being offered on set. You get a coffee. Normally I have admin to do, so I bring my laptop with me, or I'll do it on my phone while I'm sitting through hair and makeup, get that done through the day, because the emails come throughout the day, and people think that like if you're a creative, like they don't understand that part.
There's no admin.
You actually have to deal with the admin, and I think that's the one part that all creatives dread.
Dude, yeah.
We dread it. It's a lot of work. So then while you're doing that, then you're getting ready, you're getting told what the brief is like, you get told what the shots that they're looking for. You get showed your outfits by a stylist, your hairstylist will show you your looks for the day. You start shooting. You kind of don't really get a break until lunch. And then lunch also, sometimes I shoot right through lunch. I remember the one time I shot until like 7 from the time I arrived at 8. And people don't understand that shooting is physically exhausting.
It's exhausting.
Yes, and people think that like when you stand on your feet, you don't want to stand for too long. And when you're a model, you got to stand, smile, laugh, giggle.
Dude,
like you got to look like you're having a good time. And people don't always understand that. It's a lot of work. I took two of my cousins, a younger one who's like now I think in grade 10. No, she's gonna check this year.
To see what you did.
Yeah, to see what she was like. I did not know it was. She thought I was so cool. So she did what I did. She said when we went on to we were shooting at a beach and it was hot, and she was like, I did not know you do. She was like, you do way too much for these photos. And my other cousin was with me until like 5, and she was like, no ways.
And I like what you say, because like the ones where everybody sets everything up, the brand set everything up.
Yeah.
People understand those are much easier than having to do that yourself.
It is a lot
to
much.
get your photographer, having to get your own location, and that's like.
I want to say they're easier, but I want to actually just say instead of easier, they're different, because executing a different brief other than something you haven't you've conceptualized yourself, you know what you want, you know the vision.
True.
And now that, like, for me, I started off as a model, and I'm an influencer, and I do my own digital creative content.
Yeah.
I always feel like that becomes tricky to manage, because I can't just be seen from one dimension.
Yeah.
Because now people can't just see a photo of me in a catalog for a regular commercial brand and see my Instagram and not try and associate
the two. Exactly.
So even sometimes now you have to have that conversation with the brand to say, listen,
like, yo,
I am an influencer, and I'm like, listen, this is what I need to look like. I need to look true to what I look like on my Instagram, because I feel like in the space, and this is quite a controversial statement, maybe I should say, but it's not really. We still have a lot of creatives who are not our color, as women of color, who doing our makeup and hair, who don't make us look like the best that we would look, and then we compromised. Now it looks like you're catfishing.
Dude, right? And you have to walk in the streets with all of that.
Yeah.
Like every day you carry that. After the brand is paid and they've disassociated, you have to walk in the street and be like, wait, girl, are you that girl from, and that can be difficult.
And those people will say you catfishing. You know, people, they ruthless.
Right? And also, what I like about that is that you have a lot of interaction with your quote-unquote fans, but followers.
My
You are on a live, like you go on a lot of lives and people know you quite a bit. In fact, you were on a live on your way here.
Yeah.
I was telling Blaze, like, look at this girl. All live and late at the same time.
You've got to just give your followers. I always feel like a lot of the time we get lost in the sauce. We're always creating, we always have to think like ahead. We've got to think 10 steps ahead. We've got to think about what you guys want to see 5 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, a day from now. And sometimes you forget to interact with what's happening in the present, and lives are the perfect way to get in touch with your followers in the present, to also make them feel like they're part of what you're building, because they are a huge part. Without their support and their following, you wouldn't possibly be where you are. You can't necessarily get the brands to interact with you the way they do, because 100%. They're the reason.
Yeah 100%. But let's talk about sort of like getting started, like breaking in. So you actually, when you finished school, you were gonna study. You knew you were modeling already, right?
No, I had to study. There was no option.
Oh, you had to. That's like the household you come from.
Yes, I come from a Zulu background. My dad is Zulu and Swati background, and my parents were like, "You gonna study."
So isn't your dad like, yo, dude? Listen. When I had to look for a girl, I found your mom. And your mom gave you all these looks, which means you don't have to work, because I worked hard to get your mom. Now you can just go model.
My mom picked up my dad. She was driving, he wasn't. She had a car before he did.
Shit.
She's a bad.
Fire.
My parents were pro me working.
Yeah.
My dad was a little more reluctant in the sense that he didn't want us like working prematurely, because he felt like we always needed to complete our studies before we go into the workforce, and he didn't want the distraction. But my mom's always been pro make your own money, always like hustle, always make plans. But my parents were strict as well in the same level. So they encouraged me to do what I wanted to do, and they were really supportive of my modeling career, because I've been modeling since I was 4.
Yeah.
However, I did sneak in a few shoots because I should have been studying. I did sneak in a few shoots because I should have been in lectures.
Right. And this is your time when you were in Joburg?
Yeah, not in Joburg and in Durban when I was studying. Yes. So I literally would just go to shoots. I'd have like a full day of lectures, and I'd be like, I got a full day of a shoot, so I got to shoot.
Dang.
Yeah.
I think we all did that, like when you're still like crazy about the career. I remember when I was like skipping lectures to go to castings and
really?
Shit. Yeah.
You must never lose that fire. That's that fire that keeps you going.
Dude, like
I understand though, because it feels like it's running out at some point.
Now money kills that. Once you do anything that pays you, like, it's very difficult to go back and do stuff that doesn't pay you.
You know what I believe in? I believe that if you truly feel like it's your purpose and you work hard at it, there are going to be struggles, there are going to be challenges, but God provides.
All right.
So there's never been a situation where I felt like God hasn't provided, especially in my talent and what I'm able to do. There are moments where I'm challenged and I might struggle with a few things, but He provides. If you're walking in your divine path and your purpose, He will provide.
100%.
But we stress, we don't
have faith. but that's us. That's our human, nature.
Yeah.
And I was like listening to this podcast the other day, and this guy was like, "Yo, like all the stresses that we have today, they didn't even exist. Firstly, a long time ago, because a long time ago we just like were into active people. You didn't read.
Yeah.
Then when like reading and writing started, there was a stress of concentration, right?
Yeah.
And that was like our stress for a long time. Then social media came along.
Yo,
then now
we've been
like,
stressed. We haven't come out of social media stress. It's stressing us.
It's like ridiculous. So tell me here. So as like one of the people that's like lived in like 3 of the like big cities in South Africa, how's like your experience living and working in the 3 cities? I know like Cape Town is still in your hearts now.
Okay.
But like when you were in Joburg, when you were in Durban, did you find like your careers were flourishing as easily as they do now?
I actually must say in Joburg, because I was like really a student, I still did work, and I actually got paid well because I also started as a promo girl.
Yeah, dude.
Typical uni job. But I got paid better than most, and I had a really good job, really great boss. So I will say they actually, now that I look back at it, I really had good amount of luck in all 3 actually, being that all of the 3 cities gave me what I needed for that moment.
At the time.
I don't think the success I have now would have made sense in Durban at that time, at that age. I don't think it would have made sense in Joburg at that time, at that age. I feel like at every single stage of my life, I've had the right amount of success in that industry. I still always will say, like, I feel like a bit of an underdog. I'll always be like an underdog to a certain degree. But like, I feel like I've been able to work, and when I say work, like really build relationships, really do get my check to a certain degree. But I also feel like obviously with each city comes its own limitations after you've reached a certain cap.
Yeah.
And now that we live in a world where it's so like, globalization is such a real thing, you can be anywhere, doing anything and making it work.
Right?
Yeah.
Like competition is a given in every field, right?
Yes.
So, but I feel like in your field specifically, in the influencing space, right? There is a lot of like pitting, in media, there's a lot of pitting people against each other.
Pitting women against each other.
Especially women against each other. Especially women against each other.
Yeah.
But you and your friends are like one of the few people that are like at the top of their game, but very closely knit.
Yeah.
And I just wonder if that's not like, don't like brands use that, use it to sort of like sow divisions between the 5-6 of you guys that, intentionally conquer this thing together.
I think it also comes down to the kind of brands we work with. We've been blessed to work with the brands who do work with us. They're so happy to have a group of women. There's such a scarcity when you look at the amount of women who are grouped together, who stay together for a long time. And even when we don't be seen, like if we're not seen with each other, like within a month or a week, they're like, oh, you're fighting.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all don't like each other. Oh, they don't even like each other's pictures anymore. If they notice anything like that, forgetting that we all have our own lives. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Dude. But I will say I've been blessed to work with amazing women. All of those girls who are like my friends who I get to work with.
Yeah.
Amazing. They focus. They know what they want in life. And it's easier to build with women like that because they also feel like they know where they're going, and we help each other out. We also understand that we have struggles that we might face, but there's never been a situation where brands have pit us against each other. Luckily, I think for us, we've been blessed with that opportunity to work with brands who really want to see us together and can see the power of a group effort than an individual effort. Because obviously there are things that we can only do amongst each other when it's like, okay, this is more Khwezi's taste, or this is more so-and-so's taste. But if it's can work with all 4 of us, or all 5 of us, or all of the girls, even better. You know what I mean?
No, that's beautiful. And we'll chat more about that because I just want to go next door, grab a quick drink, and get a bit into the more unorthodox questions.
Okay.
Get some tequila first.
I don't know about tequila. I'm a beautiful girl. I don't know y'all like that. I don't know y'all like that. Cut the cameras. I love Beyonce, Oprah Winfrey, and Michelle Obama.
Even yesterday, dude, when I went to bed, I was like, this girl is out.
I was out. And then when you woke up, I was doing my skincare routine.
Then you went to the gym. I was like, I told this girl not to make me look too basic. I'm glad she didn't. Joking.
Cut the cameras. Cut the cameras. I've always wanted to say that. Thank you. That's actually the only thing I want to do in my life. But say that, cut the cameras.
I just
Cut
want the top
camera.
3, bro.
That's the only thing I want to say.
I just want the top 3.
That's
She
the
said
only
she
reason I'm-
dates cute niggas. Konji, what does Jay-Z say? I'm a billionaire. I'm cute.
My top
that's-
3
that's
is
my-
Michelle Obama, Beyonce, Oprah
I'm
Winfrey.
cute.
You know, oh no,
let's get
but
into the shit. I'm rolling.
I never want to be caught on camera saying people are ugly. Never.
Never.
Could never be me.
Alright.
I don't even know these guys. I don't even know them.
Let's get into the shit. Cool action.
Let's get this shit.
Let's get. And we are back now out of the boardroom so we can get the real questions in. Are you ready?
Now I'm a bit scared. Like it's giving, I need to be a little more like prepared what you're about to say, sir.
Pull out your gun. All right, listen. So I know, like I said, your fans know you because they're always on IG Live with you.
Yes.
But I prepared like 5 questions, get to know somebody quickly questions for all the newbies to you that are getting introduced to you. So I'm going to hit you with them quickly. Okay, if you could have dinner with anybody dead or alive, who would it be?
Dead or alive?
First person that pops into mind.
I'm trying to think. No, why would I not know that at the top of my head? Beyonce.
Beyonce?
I wanna have dinner with Beyonce.
Okay, cool. If you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be and why?
Like for how long? Depends.
Rest of your life. That's your base. That's your home class.
But I want to have homes in different countries. I love Cape.
stuck there. You're not stuck there. That's your home.
Can I choose 2 places? One in South Africa and one. I'd choose Cape Town in South Africa, and then I would say Paris, France. I wouldn't mind.
These are places you already live in. Come on now. Come on now. Alright, flex it.
I love it.
Alright, what would you rather throw away, love or money? Forever gone. Can't have it anymore. I didn't think that would be the hardest one.
What do you mean throw away? Like we don't use it as a currency anymore?
Nah, like you find the love of your life and y'all are broke forever.
I'll never
Or
be
you
broke.
never find love, but you are balling out of control forever.
You know, God loves me. It's fine. I'll take the money. It's actually fine. God loves me. I love God and me. That's a beautiful relationship.
If you could change one thing about yourself, what would it be? That you haven't changed.
That I haven't. What would I change? I don't think I'd change anything, hey?
Serious?
I take everything as a learning curve. I feel like as I grow older now, I look at myself and I'm like, okay, everything that I thought I would have changed when I was younger, there's so much I want to change. From the time I was younger, like physical and like mental and emotional, I feel like the only thing I would change about myself would be maybe adapting to change a lot better. But other than that, like everything plays its role. Like if you look at your life, you're like, okay, cool. This was necessary. Like there was a reason I felt insecure about that at that point. There's a reason I felt like I didn't have that at that point. So nothing I would change.
And what is the strangest thing in your refrigerator? If we went to your crib now, opened up, what would shock me?
The amount of hot sauces I have. But I guess it's not that strange. I'm from Durban. So the amount I've got all types of hot sauce.
Right.
Like you can scoop it, you can like chop chili type.
And you like add hot sauce to everything?
I used to. I'm trying to be a better person about do that.
I see you. Alright, now what is your biggest gig that was like, what the hell, I have to pinch myself, how am I this far? Or like what's your biggest like interaction with any brand or person? You're like, yo, is this how far I am?
I don't know. All of the brands I've been working with recently, I can't even put just one.
Yeah.
They've been so good. You know, a brand itself, it's cool to know a brand, but to know the people who work behind the brand and the relationships that you build with the agencies that work for the brand, when they become family and they challenge you, yes, because sometimes the briefs are a little more challenging, but that for me is more of a takeaway and I'm like, wow, I'm really growing. Because it's great to get something that you're like, okay, this is amazing, everything's perfect. But the real growth and the real like winning happens when you decide, okay, listen, in this situation, I need to make it work in the circumstance I'm in, and it's almost impossible, but I'm making it happen. And this brand truly believes that I can make it happen.
Dude.
I think one of the brands that really grew me was Brutal Fruit.
Yeah.
I'd say that's one of the brands that really has grown me, that I've seen that really has also believed in me. All the brands, though, I would say, have really pushed me.
Yeah, and like well, let's give them their shine.
We'll give them their shine.
Real
They really,
Fruits, you guys are creating amazing content.
yes.
Yesterday I woke up and you had something. You were doing something with H&M.
H&M,
You were at
yes.
Dior. What was that? Was a launch?
Oh.
I was like, yo, dude.
Dior was a big one for me because I was like
one of us still.
Dior was a big one, but I feel like when you work with brands on that global scale, because I've also worked with Versace on the global scale, and when you realize like the international designer houses recognizing you, like that's something special because then they trust you with their brand, and at the same time, I think that it's also like solidifies something that I think as African people, as creatives, we don't always believe is that we are valid, our creativity is valid, what we're bringing forth is different, and it is needed in that global space. So that has been really refreshing and fun to do.
And how does this information get to you? Like, is there someone managing your accounts who reads that and they're shocked and they send it to you and you're shocked? Or is this like directly you open your email and it's like, what the hell?
So it's a little bit of both, just because I work with different agencies across the board. There's different PR agencies that will have my profile under their name and they'll do the work, find work, and then contact me. Some of them work with the brands. The brands will say, we want this person. They have to come to speak to me. And then I have agencies that I work with in America. And then with that also, they bring forth work that might not be local, and they work with the European brands as well. So when it comes to that, those people have you on their board. I'm also signed to an agency in South Africa, a modeling agency. They will find the work for you, or they'll be contacted on behalf of the brands for you, and then they'll communicate with you what needs to happen. They, I think, are a little more accustomed to it because they work with the big brands already.
Yeah, exactly.
Obviously, if they know you from the time that you kind of stepped in the game, they're like proud of you, they're happy for you, and they know how much it means to you. But they just kind of like, okay, you're doing it, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Exactly. So
Keep
that's what they
doing
saw
it.
in you.
Yeah.
And that's what brings us the money.
Yeah.
Let's talk progress. So from when you started, just after you were working for free, like trying to get your name out there, financially and sustainability, how big is the difference from where you were, like, let's say, straight off, like after studying, this is like what, 5-6 years ago? Yeah, when you're starting there, and now? How has your lifestyle changed, and how much do you like sort of like support yourself, and you're like, I can pay my own bills now, I can buy this and this now?
Yes. So when you start off, like you really are working for the bare minimum, but also like the value of currency changes. So I had like an allowance for my parents, and also with the fact that there's things like your expenses aren't that crazy. And when Diddy said, more money, more problems.
Bro.
Tax. And then also just like paying for toilet paper.
Right.
You know what I mean?
The little things.
The little things, you know what I mean? But when you're starting off, I lived with my parents, I think until I was around 23 years old. And with their assistance, like things were fine. It wasn't too bad. Things weren't too shabby. Like I don't have to worry about paying for rent. I don't have to worry about food. I don't have to worry about like transportation. They're covering that. So when I'm making money, it's really pocket money. It's for me.
Yeah.
Then it becomes, obviously, as you move along, you're starting off with like allowance money. I don't know how to describe allowance money.
Do you remember your first check? There was like, oh, I made this money?
Yes, my dad took it.
How much was it?
$300.
You lie.
Yes, he took my $300 and I want it back. I want my money back. I always talk about that. And I think my parents took my first couple of checks, let's be honest. Yeah, you have
what's your first big check back then that you remember? You're like, I can do this. What's the check that made you feel like I can do this for a living? And even though I am studying, I feel like I might not need that yet.
I was still, I think, in high school, and then I won 10,000 Rand in a pageant. Now, if you're in like 16, that's big money.
That is huge.
So I was like, I'm rich. I'm the rich.
That's ridiculous.
Okay, but I was 15 turning 16, and I had done my first modeling competition, pageantry, and for me, like, that was a form of work because, like, even though it is a lot of, like, competing, whatever, I would really train for those, like, working out, training, learning how to speak, learning how to walk. That made me feel like, okay, this is real. And also because 10,000 Rand was just a portion of the money. Then the rest of the stuff equated to like 25,000 in total. So I was like, okay, great. I'm actually the girl I think I am.
Right.
I'm cute. Maybe I can do this.
That's 250 mil now. That's 250,000 now.
You know what I mean? So I'm like, let me just rock with this. And then I started doing more stuff. Yeah.
What do you think is the best way to structure like your career? Is it like I need more gigs to make more money, or I need like one big gig that's like very loyal and that's what we're pushing? What is like the more? Is it better to be like more sustainable in the long run, or is it just like a lot of few checks? That's really what builds up the bank balance.
Number one, I'll always vouch for longevity in any like workspace. Always try to push for the long run. However, it's a value proposition. It's how you place yourself in value. You can work 50 gigs and place yourself very valuable, and you will get the checks that you want, and still at a very high stake. It's not a lot of quick gigs that are small change. But if you say that your time is what they're paying for, like that 2 minutes is what they're paying for, then it's different. But if you say there's a value to who you are, it's a different conversation, because then now we're not just negotiating the fact that I'm working right now. We're talking about the fact that this is my brand, and me coming and working with your brand is bringing value to your brand. And value, it's a hefty price for value.
All right.
So I always like to have long relationships with my brand. I push for long relationships with my brand, but also having a gig that's brief in the moment just because it aligns with your brand at that moment doesn't hurt, because you also don't want to be stuck with something that you've outgrown just because of longevity.
Yeah.
And that the brand has outgrown you, but you're stuck with them because of longevity. You've got to remember that things, I always say, customize your experience. Can't think that what works in one season, quick gigs might work this season, next season you might need long-term gigs. And you might need to mix and match both of them and make that work.
Right.
Yeah.
And let's talk about the elephant in the room, the tax man. So I rate influencing is the most difficult thing to keep your taxes on record for, because like so many things, just like how do you like keep a record of your makeup that you needed for a shoot? How do you keep a record of like the travel, and also what if like some of the shoots are because of like the photographer, that's actually billable hours, and there's certain things that this guy builds, but because he knows he's not billing as much. So how do you guys work around that to stay like tax compliant in such a industry?
I think when it comes down to tax, it's still like with any freelancing job, that you would always have to just kind of keep a track record, and also try to be smart about how you operate and do your invoices. Invoices do help keep track of everything. If you are diligent with your invoices, you can keep track of what's going on, what's happening. When you do your invoices, don't just write off like a big lump sum of this is what I'm getting paid for the job. Maybe write down the different descriptions of what it's costing you, and then it helps you keep track. And then the invoice is not just for them, it's for you too.
It's for you too, exactly.
Yeah.
You want to know.
Yeah.
And what does the future hold for Nqobile Khwezi as a model? Because I personally feel like we are losing you slowly and slowly.
Why would you guys lose me again?
I see you in Paris all the time. I see you overseas. What does the future hold?
I feel like you'll never lose me just because I love home. Like I always said, that's why I was saying that I'll always have a base at home. Cape Town. But I always have a base at home. I love home. They've put me where I'm at now. The opportunities I have, even to be working internationally, that's because of them. But I always feel like, obviously I want to grow and to take home with me, because when I open a door, I can bring a couple few people with me, and then those people can bring a couple few people into the door, and then next thing you know, we can put each other on, like, and make things happen. So I don't think that will ever be a sense of losing me. I will grow, I will change, I will become better, and I will also still stay connected and bring people along with me.
But you are going.
I'm not here.
Alright, so tell me here, if you few years down the line you have a daughter, what like career advice do you give her to like just try and ensure she lives a fulfilled life?
What my mom said, figure yourself out. Allow yourself to grow at the pace that you're growing. Women, we are told a lot because of the society we live in that age is something you're supposed to run from. You become wise with age. Each age, allow yourself to be that age. Because when we're younger, we rush to be older. When we're older, we're trying to be younger again. If you're 25, be 25. If you're 18, be 18. Yeah. Learn, experience, but also figure out who you are outside of things that contribute to you in the exterior that you have no control over. Ground yourself in a source, whatever you believe in, whether it's God, whether it's whatever, you just ground yourself in something that's bigger than you, and then align yourself with what you think that you're meant to do, and push forward. 100%. And then figure yourself out and just give yourself the mercy to learn and grow.
100%.
Yeah.
All the dudes will kill me if I didn't ask, what is Khwezi's taste in dudes?
It's a mystery. I want you to find out on the next episode of the Not So Daily Show.
That has to be in the show. That's our promo now.
Exactly.
Every time, that's gonna be our Dragon Ball Z. Every time we end, it's crazy. Find out on the next episode.
Of the Not So Daily Show. Thank you.
Give us like a top 3 attributes, non-negotiables.
Confidence. Ambition. A good work ethic. But I feel like those are like all in one. So then I'll move on to, and then I'll move into somebody who's plugged into a source.
Yeah.
And a source that is bigger than them. And somebody who's all around a good person, because a lot of the time, when I say good, it sounds very generic and vague, but like somebody who's going to treat everyone with respect. My mom always said that, like, when you are in a specific space and you have a certain power or you look a specific way, people expect less from you. Always go above and beyond to just be a better person to people. You don't know what people are going through, and you don't know how much those people can help you and how much you can help them. And why not do that for somebody and make it a better world?
Before we close, so you are in Joburg for a couple of things,
Yes.
but tonight we are shooting on Sunday. It'll be over when we bring this out. But you're at Rockets Bryanston.
Yes.
How is that? How is the
Hosting.
How is the hosting life? You know.
Hosting is so much fun.
Right.
Like, I don't really go out unless I'm joking. I don't really go out, so it's always fun to like host, and it's so nice to work with like places like Rockets where they really do respect the value you add to the brand and just the establishment. So those places like Rockets, for me, I feel like I'm happy to be there. I have a good time. I'm safe. I'm there with my friends. We're having a good time. Also, I feel like because people only see me in pictures sometimes, they don't know that I have a personality. I'm a bit crazy.
I was telling you off camera, I was like, everybody is shocked when they like, even when this comes out, they're gonna be like, that girl exists? They're like, is that a real person? And people don't know you come to Joburg and stuff, you know, like
I still
lies
don't.
for work. She hates us. But yeah, like I was saying, I was like, when I saw Muzi snap, she was like, it's really Nqobile Khwezi. I'm like, yeah.
I'm really in the flesh. I'm a real person. I think that also because of like the timing of like, I was finishing my studies and then COVID was like hitting and I worked before in PR for a restaurant. So a lot of my time was spent like off the camera, like I would work my modeling job, but like not like my influencer and creative job. So now that like COVID is kind of like, not that it's over, but like we kind of managing it better. We doing a lot more outdoor stuff and people getting to interact with me in person. It's been fun, man. Like I feel like I've still got a lot of me to share with you guys. I've just started.
Exactly. And what is the future for Nqobile Khwezi? Because I told you, I'm like, I've seen you present. And I'm like, what the hell? This girl could host the Not So Daily Show.
We're replacing him next week. Thanks.
Wow.
No, don't cut the cameras. Don't cut the cameras.
So what other things would you like to get into? You know, like,
I feel like, like I had mentioned to you, I'd studied performing arts. Anything in the entertainment space, I really do think I can tackle head on. I love it so much. I love the entertainment industry. It raised me. It's what I've always found comfort in. It's what I've always found challenges and growth in. So I won't limit myself and say this is the only like sphere that I can go into. Not just presenting, not just acting, not just like I can always go into different spheres. Maybe not singing. I don't even want to lie, but I do want to mention this. I was once in the choir with Shekinah. So
when?
In high school.
You
We went to
lie.
the same high school.
Ah.
She was my choir leader.
Who was it?
Shekinah. The
You
singer.
lied.
Yeah.
Oh shit, that's fire. That's fire. Yeah, I know Shaky. Shaky used to live at Mill Park with us.
Really?
Yeah.
And she's such a lovely girl. She was
Fire
in the same
human being.
Yeah, she was in the
Fire
same
human
school as my sister. Well, my same school, my sister and myself, and she was in the same year as my sister. So she was my head of choir. She took choir seriously. That's why she did successful. She didn't play.
that's kinda-
If you missed choir, she was like, "Where were you?"
You lie.
Girl, she won't play with us.
That is beautiful. That's
But yeah.
beautiful. Nobs, thank you for gracing us with your presence.
It's my absolute
You
pleasure.
know, dude. You know, I'm a fan and a friend. I just think, you know, like, dude.
Thank you.
So
I
I'm
really
looking forward
appreciate
to seeing more of you. Looking forward to all the things you're gonna do.
Yes.
And yeah, soon we'll be coming to Paris to do these interviews, going to London. And,
Yes,
you know,
maybe you'll interview me like in New York. We don't know where the
Right.
Not So Daily Show is going.
right?
You know what I mean? I see big things for the show too.
Wow, Mako.
Take care.
Shout out, guys. Shout out for watching. See you next week. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and you know, stay informed. Spread the word. Until next week. Cheers.